Welcome to the Mimic Kitchen. Usually, I'll share my favorite recipes using whatever adventurer wanders into the dungeon, but today I thought I'd go over the basics. First and foremost, I want to assure everyone that all our adventurers are ethically sourced. They all enter the dungeon of their own accord. Now, some of you might think that it's the species of an adventurer that dictates what kind of meat you're going to get out of them. And while it's true that elf meat tends to be on the lean side while orc meat can be tougher, it's actually the class that has the biggest effect on the adventurer and thus dictates what their best use is in dishes. First up, fighters. These are all-arounders, both in combat and in the kitchen. Meatloaf, burgers, sausages, basically any recipe that calls for a ground meat is a great place to use a fighter. Barbarians are usually a much tougher cut. Even the loin is going to have a lot of connective tissue, so they're best used in stews or slow roasted. If you're planning on barbarian steaks for fajitas, remember to cut against the grain. Monks are where it's at if you're looking for a good steak. Something about their ki just leaves the meat so juicy and tender. Rogues, on the other hand, are almost always exceptionally lean. So if you have rogue on hand, you're going to want to cook them quickly or in a lot of fat to keep them from getting dry. They do make good jerky, though. Paladins and clerics can usually be interchangeable. They don't get as much physical exercise as a fighter, but they aren't as lax in such things as a wizard or sorcerer. They work well in ground sausage or a slow pan-seared. They also have a delicate loin, meaty legs, and ribs that take well to a nice, slow smoke. Wizards and sorcerers are lean creatures, and they don't really use their upper bodies much, so their meat is very pale. Like rogues, they benefit from being cooked in fats, sauces, and broths. Wizards tend to be the go-to in soups. I know a gnoll who swears that wizard noodle soup always makes them feel better when they're sick. I do not suggest the consumption of bards if it can be helped. They are honestly the last adventurer type that I would try to make edible, but there are lots of creatures that swear by it. I just can't get over the aftertaste. Druids and rangers both have a gaminess to them, but druids also tend to have a kind of mushroomy taste. I'm not sure why. Might have something to do with their diet. They're good in about any way you choose to prepare them, but they are going to have that slightly tough, gamey thing going on, so I prefer low and slow cooking, much like I would use with a barbarian. Finally, we have warlocks. I left these guys for last because they tend to be wild cards. Not just flavor or meat-wise, but often you don't even get the chance to eat one because their patron has first dibs on their mortal form and immortal soul. So really, it's just easier to set them aside and get in touch with whichever creature they pacted with. If you do get to actually eat one, they prepare in much the same way as wizards and sorcerers. I hope this has helped you to better understand how to fully utilize the adventurers that you managed to successfully hunt. Until next time, thank you for stopping by the department. We hope to see you again soon. Like and follow so you can have a mimic in your feed every day.